Okay, folks, your buddy Mike Messier. So this is extensive Mike's Instant Movie Review, Joyride. I wonder if this movie was somehow inspired with the title by the Joy Luck Club, a film that I've never seen. A friend of mine today, made note of They Still Kill Horses, Don't They? Another movie I've never seen. But when I was in college a few years ago, I wrote a term paper titled They Still Kill Pignetti, Don't They? Because of the Lord's Discipline. It's a novel that killed a character named Pignetti in the novel, but in the book, he doesn't die. Sorry, spoilers all around. So let's talk about the Joy fucking ride. Okay. I mean, I laughed. I mean, it took about 20 minutes to get a laugh out of me, but once I started laughing, I had some laughs. It's, I don't want to say typical, but it's like your, girls' week off, girls' night out, girls going on business trip, but of course it becomes about, friendship and fucking. And we've seen movies like this before, mostly with male characters. The Hangover comes to mind, amongst others, I guess Hangover 2 and 3. But there's been other films like this, where you have like four characters, they go somewhere, they do some stuff, they find out about themselves, they find out about each other. But the funny parts are always not that fucking shit. It's always like, in this movie, The Joyride, they have a big sex montage. I guess 3 out of the 4 women hook up with assorted gentlemen while they're in China. So yes, we do go to China. I'm assuming that this film, well, wait a second. Oh, my neck. I don't know if this film was actually, I didn't stick around for the end credits. The fucking, the teenagers that work in this theater come in and they're sweeping up. And so I always feel pressure to leave. I want to watch the credits, but I don't want to stop them from sweeping the floor. So I leave the theater. I don't know if this movie was filmed in China, but it did look convincing enough to me. I mean, But Back to the Future 2 has that giant shark in it. By the way, I'm just starting now to watch Back to the Future 2. I've never watched it before in my life. I've seen Back to the Future, the original, several times. So I guess I'll have to do a fucking Mike's Instant Movie Review about Back to the Future 2. I'm actually watching on Freeverse, so it's like it takes 5 hours because you sit through all these goddamn commercials. You watch like 8 minutes of commercials and then 2 minutes of movie. Repeat. Okay, and I gotta turn the light on and off because I don't want to fucking kill my battery in this vehicle. So, Joy Ride, what did I think? It's okay. I want to say this stuff, so I'm going to say it. A lot of times in these movies, Sex and the City, TV show, and other things, whenever there's female characters, they always have to slut out. It's like just part of the chemistry of the film. Like, for them to prove themselves, they have to fuck some random guys. In this movie, our lead there, played by Ashley Park, very charming, pretty woman, she ends up having a devil's three-way, which I'd never heard that term before, but I suppose that's when one woman gets, as they say in the film, Eiffel Towered by 2 men, 2 male basketball players. But isn't it funny that, can you remember the last rated R comedy movie you saw with a bunch of female characters where they did not have to prove themselves or prove their vitality through fucking random people? But hey, maybe it's just me. So what else? But yeah, the movie's good. There's humor, there's friendship. I did find the character of Deadeye quite interesting. I don't know why, but I think I might have gotten more. I might have gotten more laughs at a Deadeye than the others because I felt like Deadeye was a pretty good indication or a pretty good reflection of today's person, like today's 25 to 35-year-old, like living through their fucking phone. All their friends are online. I like K-pop because K-pop likes me. Some good fucking lines in this movie. Spoilers, by the fucking way. The adoption angle was interesting. The woman thinks she was adopted from a woman in China. You've seen the movie now, right? She's actually adopted from a Korean woman who's dead. I thought that she, when she discovers that she is born the birth child of a Korean woman, and she goes to her Korean birth mother's grave, and the fucking husband, like the widower of her birth mother, but not her father, shows up, and he gives her like these insights to her dead mother, which would be his dead wife, and he shares this little video that his dead wife took before she died. Luckily, it'd be a little bit hard to do it after she died. I thought she might fuck her, mother's, her dead mother's widower. I thought that might be interesting. I mean, I'm always, like, when I watch these movies, I always feel like I want to jump into the movie and, like, push things a little bit further than they want to be pushed. Like, why not? Like, why not do this thing? Make it more interesting, you know what I mean? But they never do. So anyway, I mean, I like this is kind of a backhanded compliment. I like the length of this film. Basically 90 minutes, bunk, right on the fucking head. I mean, if this was Tar, I'd still be sitting in the goddamn theater for another 2.5 hours. There's a cat in the fucking parking lot, running around. Speaking of which, the cute stuff, like, I don't know, I mean, I've never been to China, but I mean, I watched this documentary about the world of cute art in China. Like, they really like those cats, and like, cute is a thing in China, I guess. They like cute stuff. And then we have a little voyance to Korea, and we get to learn all these things. I mean, I think this is one of those movies that if you happen to be an Asian American, there's probably like a lot of layers to this and a lot of familiarity. And look, no movie can satisfy every audience, and I think this movie did enough to satisfy me, Joe Blanco over here. But I do feel that if I happen to be Asian American, I'd probably be laughing even harder. Now, like, once again I said I'm a hard laugh. I am Francois Messier. I mean, people don't know what the fuck my name is. It's French. Messier, assholes. So basically at the end of the movie, they go to Paris for 5 minutes and they see a couple of things. I'm sure that wasn't filmed in France either. But anyway, I was not raised with any type of cultural identity. You know what I mean? Like, nobody gave a fuck how I was raised about anything. But I mean, it's nice to think that the people, representation, like the Asian folks that go see this movie and they want to be represented, they'll probably have a chuckle and a grin, I'm sure. I mean, I had a chuckle and a grin, and I'm not Asian. Trying to think if I do know this wonderful restaurant. If you ever go to Jacksonville, Florida, I suppose I could give them a cheap plug. Fancy Garden, which is right near the AMC Regency Mall, where I see a lot of these movies, but not tonight. But I often go to Fancy Garden. Very nice family who apparently owns and operates the system. And they make a really great chicken egg foo young. I used to just get the Mongolian beef there, but it was very spicy. And the one time I kind of, like, I used to like sweat and get all fucked up eating it, but it was like a challenge. And then one day I said, you know what, can you make it like half spicy? Can you make it half spicy? And they did, and then it wasn't as good. So it's like, okay. So then I started having to get other things. I also discovered, a fun fact, typically, like every other asshole, I order, the combination, the fucking egg roll, the white rice, or the pork fried rice, and the dish. I discovered ordering from the menu, that's not the combo menu, especially in the case of the egg foo young, you just get the egg foo young and the rice. You get a fuckload more of your main item and more rice. And to be honest, I do like Fancy Garden, but there's something about their egg rolls that just doesn't do it for me. It's just a different way of making the egg roll. So it's not that they're bad. It's just not my favorite. So I've discovered that instead of ordering the combo dish, I order just like the fucking dish that I want from the main menu, and it's a lot better. It's like it's not twice as much, maybe 30 to 40% more egg foo young, and probably a good 50% more white rice. And I'm not getting the fucking egg roll, and I'm not fucking missing it. Okay, so another life lesson. Going back to this movie, I mean, this Ashley Park, very attractive. And the other women, I mean, I guess there's a thing. I mean, look, I get it. It's a comedy. I shouldn't be taking this too seriously. But it reminds me so much of Sex and the City, where, like, you have the slutty one, then you have the stick in the ass one. This one doesn't have, like, who was my favorite? was it Courtney or Catherine or whatever the fuck? Who was the prudish one, like the brunette on? Not Miranda, not Samantha, not Carrie. Oh, the one that I can't remember her name, the brunette one. But that one, they didn't really have that in this movie, like a prude one. Instead, they kind of swingled in the Hangover guy, like the weirdo from the Hangover, the one that drugged them all with the drink, the Zacophrenics fuck. They kind of have that in Deadeye. I did think her, like, they're like, why do they call you Deadeye? And then she just looks at him. I thought that was funny. So, I mean, there's definitely some shits, giggles, grins, and handshakes in this movie. Is it an all-time fucking classic? No. It's a little derivative, like I said, of other, women who need to fuck movies. And I did like, the break into the spontaneous musical performance in this thing. Oh boy, tomorrow night, UFC 290, Volkanovski versus Rodriguez. I will be going to the movie theater. If you go over to one of my other channels, One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan, I had a nice request to do another UFC video. I'll do that. But yeah, I'm going to watch those fights. I'm getting pissed off with these UFC apps, the fucking Fight app and the fucking ESPN Plus app. I want to watch these Fight Night Lives that I've been missing because I figured, I'll just watch the replay. Well, they're not letting me watch the goddamn replay. So what the fuck? I can watch them in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. No habla español, you fucks. So anyway. But yeah, Joyride, pretty women, having fucking fun, Eiffel towering, bonding, telling each other that they love each other, all that horse shit. Like I was saying, Deadeye is kind of like the Zach Galifianakis fuck. Like he's kind of that character. She's kind of like that character. Like the weirdo. Who's the fourth broad on Sex and the City? Miranda Carey. Oh, God. Who was she? She was my favorite because she was the prettiest. The fucking brunette. Not Miranda. Miranda was the stick-in-the-ass redhead. Carrie was the lead. And then you had the Samantha the slut. Interesting that Samantha doesn't do those movies. She's like, I'm done. Peace, you fucks. And what was their other TV show? I didn't see the spin-off show. And Just Like That. Okay. So it's like whatever the fuck. Actually, in real life, this is funny. I might as well tell this anecdote. I'll never tell it again. I knew these people. I mostly knew the female. Very pretty girl. Kind of one of these social media engineer types. Like one of these 2010s, I'm going to take over the world with my social media presence type of people. And she was teaching classes on social media, and she was, an actress like every fucking buddy else. And nice girl. She had this boyfriend who had a real job. Boyfriend was actually quite smart. He was actually like designing websites and making money doing that shit. And nice, tall, strapping gentleman. And so she kind of had it good because she could do her little acting. She could do her little social media bullshit. And she had a nice support system of the boyfriend with money. And then she decides to go and live in the Congo or some such thing. And like she needs to discover herself and discover the inner workings of her brain in the Congo and live amongst the whatever the fucks in the Congo or wherever the fuck. So, but she was still dating this strapping guy with all this money, not even an old guy, like a guy about her age. So she has a goodbye party for herself. Everybody goes, I go, and this poor guy, because like I guess they didn't even break up. Like she was just gonna fucking leave, and he was just gonna stay. And I don't know their private business, but I do know that a day or two after the party, this poor gentleman posted a photograph from the party, her goodbye party, his girlfriend's goodbye party before she went to the Congo, and he posted a picture of like the two of them, kind of like kissy facing or something or other at the bar. At the party, at the goodbye party, and he writes in the caption, and just like that, she's gone. And, I felt bad for him. And then, a couple of weeks later, she's in the Congo dancing around, and some other asshole guy, another person I knew, some other asshole guy decides to take a flight over to the fucking Congo and he's hanging out with her in a fucking jacuzzi. So I'm like, okay, well, shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I thought I knew all the players, but I didn't even get the program. So there you fucking go, folks. I don't know if that anecdote made sense, but, oh, I know why. Because when he wrote that thing, and just like that, she's gone, I didn't realize that until years later when I saw, like, the final episode of Sex and the City or some such thing, that expression or that line, that mantra, if you would, and just like that, that's like a Sex and the City fucking thing. Just like I didn't know I see you is an Avatar thing until I saw Avatar 10 years past the point. And now I guess I'm going to discover all these fucking inside jokes and expressions from Back to the Future 2 once I get through watching it. Okay, folks, that's your fucking Friday report. I guess I'll be back for a UFC report tomorrow or whenever the fuck I do it. I had a very extensive day of working on a screenplay. I have a phone call tomorrow to discuss with a colleague about that, a friend of mine, the gentleman who wrote the foreword to my book, Fight or Play Basketball, which you all should be buying right now. Okay, click on the fucking button. Go to Amazon, Fight or Play Basketball. It's not just because it's me. It's because it's actually a good story, a good book. If you have a youth in your life, it's a good sports youth book as well. If you can just read it yourself. Whatever the fuck. So that's it, folks. So yes, the joyride, pretty women doing dirty things. Fucking and Eiffeline towering, but, looking good while they're doing it. I guess Deadeye didn't get fucked in this one, but the other ones all did. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Mike Messier. If you want to see my fucking movies, One Man in a Camera Films here on YouTube, One Pro Wrestling and Sports Fan, and subscribe and like all my stuff. Goodbye.